Janome.
Hi everybody, welcome to the 2022 Block of the Month Blitz 2 quilt. I designed this quilt exclusively for Janome. I'm Kimberly Einmo and I'm Janome's national spokesperson, and I am so happy you're going to join me on this journey. We're going to make this beautiful quilt that I designed for Janome, and it's a skill building project. All it's going to take is one background fabric. You're just going to need about 3 yards of background fabric, and that's a little bit generous. I try to put a little bit of extra in there just in case anybody miscuts, which can sometimes happen. It happens to the best of us. And you'll need one solidish jelly roll that comes with 40 beautifully colored gradated strips. They're 2.5-inch strips. Now you can get this from your local Janome dealer, along with the rulers that we're going to need, the precision pre-cuts, the precision flying geese ruler, and the precision jelly roll ruler. All rulers I designed exclusively for use with your jelly rolls and other pre-cuts because they make your cutting so accurate and so easy. So you can get those things from your local Janome dealer, and you can ask them to order my embellish fabric. This is the background fabric I designed through Timeless Treasure called Embellish, kind of like solidish, and you can ask your local quilt shop or local Janome dealer to order it by the bolt, and it's just something fun with all those beautiful clear saturated colors in little whimsical designs. So be sure and ask for your local shop to order it for you, but you're going to need to gather your 3 yards of your background fabric and your jelly roll, and then I'm going to walk you through every step of the process to make this beautiful quilt over the course of about 6 months. We're going to have these free classes. They're going to be posted on the Janome website. Also through the Janome dealers will have access to these classes. And you can also find it on the social media pages for Janome, like the Janome Sewing Classroom and the Janome Sewing Machines page. So there's lots of ways to join. We're going to have all kinds of fun along the way, and it's skill building. I'm going to teach you all about how to get that perfect scant 1/4-inch seam allowance and how you can get it on your machine. And it's going to make the precision piecing all that much more fun. You're going to get great results, and you're going to build your skills as we go. We're going to start easy, and every month we're going to increase what we're learning together so that you can get up to being advanced with your piecing skills. So the first thing we want to talk about is what to do about these strips with the pinked edges. Most jelly rolls these days come with these little pinked edges, and that keeps the fabric from raveling, which is a good thing. But sometimes it can create inaccuracies in your cutting and piecing. So we're going to deal with that right up front. Let's go ahead and jump right in. This is all about the introductory process for this quilt. We're going to get all set up. So next time you come back for the next class, we're going to be diving into creating blocks. So let's talk about what we can do with those pinked edges. All right, so we're going to start by talking about those 2.5-inch strips with the pinked edges. You can kind of see the little jagged edges. Now, you could go ahead and just use them like they are, but I like to take just a few minutes in the beginning to trim them off so the rest of the time I don't have to worry about them getting in the way and causing inaccuracy in my piecing. It makes life a lot more fun and easy later on. So what we're going to do, it's a really fast process, and you might be thinking, oh my goodness, I don't want to take time to trim 40 strips, but here's the truth. You can do it all in about 20 minutes of watching while watching your favorite program on TV in the background. Now you want to be careful not to cut yourself with your rotary cutter. So you might just want to be listening to a program or listening to book on tape, but it really does not take that long to trim 40 strips. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave those strips folded, wrong sides together rather, and we're going to leave them. That's the way they come right off the roll. And we're going to take it and we're going to fold it almost in half, and we're going to lay this out on your cutting table just like this, kind of align the pinked edges, and you want to come around here and get this, and we're going to show you up close what we mean. So here's my strip. I folded it in half again. So right now there's 4 layers. And we're going to take the Precision Jelly Roll ruler. If you have only the Precision Precuts ruler, that's fine. That will work too. But you can see that right down the middle of this ruler, there's a 2.5 inch line, because this is a 5-inch wide ruler. We want the 2.5 inch line, and we're going to center it on this strip. We're just going to kind of center it, so you'll see some of the pinked edges sticking out beyond that line on the left side, and you'll definitely see some pinked edges on the right side sticking out. That's what we're going to go ahead and trim. So hold your ruler in place and then use your rotary cutter to go ahead and trim those edges. When you get almost to about 1.5 inches from the top, leave your rotary cutter on the fabric, on the mat, and slide your ruler to the end and go right to the end. There, we have a nice crisp line. Do you see that? We got rid of all those pinked edges. We're going to go ahead and kind of brush those away. Now, turn your strip around and we're going to do the same thing. This time, we want to align the 2.5 inch strip. The 2.5 inch line on the ruler. We want to align it with the strip so nothing is sticking out on the left side of that line. We want it really, the line on the ruler covers the raw edges of the strip. Hold your ruler firmly in place, and then we're going to trim those edges, slide the ruler to the end, do that last little inch. There you go. Now we have a perfectly trimmed 2.5 inch strip. You can check it with your ruler. It's beautiful. Let's go ahead and do one more just so you can see that again. This is going to make your piecing life so much better. Just take the time to get them all trimmed right in the beginning, and you are going to be a happy camper as we go. All right, here we go. We've got this beautiful magenta color. We're going to take that 2.5 inch line and we're going to just kind of center it on the strip. We want to see pinked edges hanging out on the right and pinked edges hanging out on the left. And we're going to go ahead and hold the ruler in place, and we want to cut. Keep the rotary cutter sunk into the fabric, slide the ruler to the end, and trim off the rest on that side. Now spin your fabric. Try not to handle it too much, you just want to spin it. Line this up so the cut edge, the side that we just cut, aligns beautifully with that 2.5 inch line on the ruler. Go ahead and trim the pinked edges and go all the way to the end. That's all you need to do. And so now I want you to take a few minutes, get all 40 of your strips trimmed. Be careful. Don't try to just take your time, but go ahead and get those done and meet me back here for the next part of the introduction of this Block of the Month Blitz quilt class. The next thing you want to do is print out the instructions. Now I've done a complete pattern and then some. There's so much good information, and this is provided at the link shown right here below, or you can find the link on the Janome website or the Janome social media pages, or even my website, www.kimberlyeinmo.com. There's lots of ways you can find it. We'll have the link, and you're going to want to print these out and have them with you. Then each month there will be a new set of instructions for the blocks that we're going to do that month. But everything is in here. Everything from the supplies you're going to need to, on page 2, you're going to find all the things that you need to cut from your background fabric. Everything listed, do it in the order listed as the bullets are listed, and then you'll find all the information about how to use the rulers, the precision rulers that are really what makes this process work, are using these rulers. So everything is in here, all the instructions, all the illustrations, and we even have a handy fabric legend of all the colors that are in your solid-ish jelly roll and what they're called, because we will be using them by name throughout the process. Now that doesn't mean that you can't change it up and make it completely your own, but if you want to make the quilt exactly as it's shown, this is what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to keep that legend handy so you can refer to the exact colors, and I will have those listed on all the subsequent handouts so you'll know exactly what color to use if you want it to look just the same. So that's it for this. We want to make sure that you get the handouts printed so that you're ready to go. And the other supplies you're going to need, they're all listed here as far as the different feet. We're going to go over to the machine in just a few moments, and I'm going to be talking to you about that perfect scant 1/4 inch and how to achieve it. But you're also going to need 50 weight cotton thread in your machine, because that's really going to ensure that you get the right 1/4 inch seam that we're going to need to make sure that everything comes out absolutely perfect. And you're going to need your rotary cutter and a mat and your rulers, and everything is listed right there. So now I think we're about ready to go to the machine and talk about how to set it up so you'll get that perfect scant 1/4 inch seam. We've got some special guests in the studio right now. Cheeto's joining us. He's doing his quality control managing. And we have Miss Sweet Tater back there taking a cat nap. But yeah, I love having Cheeto in the studio with me. Do you have a special fur friend that joined you in your studio? I'd love to hear about it. You can post a comment right on the Facebook page, social media page. Share pictures if you want on the Janome Sewing Classroom page of your furry friends that help you. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about how to achieve that perfect scant 1/4 inch seam with your Janome machine. It's really important. If you take some time right now to figure out your favorite way to get this, and I'm going to talk about all kinds of options depending on what machine you're using. I am right now using my beautiful Janome Continental M7. I love this machine, but depending on what machine you have, it comes with options. It comes with lots of presser feet. All Janome machines come with presser feet options. Now, the reason that this is important is I want you to think of your presser feet like shoes. There's lots of different styles, but they're all meant for the same purpose. All right, they're all going to do the same thing. We've got all these different 1/4 inch options, 1/4 inch seam options with these presser feet, and let's talk about them. First of all, we have the O-foot, and the O-foot comes with your machine, and it comes without the flange or the guide, but it also might come with one with the flange or the guide. You might really enjoy having this guide on there. I really do. I love that guide. Some people would prefer not to have it, and that's okay. That's why we have this, and I'm going to show you how to set up your machine when you use this. We also have this wonderful clear 1/4 inch foot called the OM foot. Now this is a center needle position foot so that you would snap this on your machine. And this is for 9mm machines, and the needle would be right in the center, and your guide is right here, to the right here, and it aligns beautifully. Or you have this wonderful OV foot, and here you can adjust the needle position all the way over to the right. And again, you would set that up similar to the O foot. You could even use your A multi-purpose foot on there and set it up, but let's go ahead and snap it off real quick, and I'm going to show you how easy it is when you don't have fumble fingers there. I've got my O foot on. You would come to the machine and you would select your decorative stitch menu, and you're going to go to the quilt stitch menu and select your 1/4 inch seam. When the default, let me show you what the default is. The default sets it at 1.8, at least on the M7. Now I think that stitch length is a little too skinny. That's more for like paper piecing or foundation piecing. I would increase that stitch length to 2.4 or 2.5, and that's a perfect stitch length that doesn't draw the fabric up too much, and you don't need to backstitch or hit the stop start button when you get started, because we're going to capture that seam in the next seam allowance. So there's no tie off needed either at the beginning or the end of the seam. But here's what I want to show you. It defaults to the 8.3 stitch position. Now on the M7, there's 92 needle positions. You can control this. It's got 92 different positions, either left or right. That's a lot of positions. But here, I would recommend going up all the way to 8.7, which moves the needle even further to the right so you can get that scant 1/4 inch seam. It actually goes all the way to 8.9. I don't think you need to go that far. I think 8.7 is the perfect place to achieve that scant 1/4 inch seam. If you happen to have the M7 or a 9450 or even an S9, there's some machines that come with the HP foot and plate. This is my most preferred method for getting that scant 1/4 inch seam allowance. It comes with a very special plate that stands, that has an HP on it that stands for high performance or high precision. And what you would do is you would lock your machine, push the button, the plate just pops right up. We're going to switch that out. We're going to put in the HP plate, and here we go. It drops right in, and then we're going to have to go ahead and change the ankle here and change the foot to the HP foot. If you've never used this before or tried it, get to your Janome dealer and try this. If you have the machine that comes with it and you've never tried it, what are you waiting for? It's fabulous. It makes the machine, it moves the whole carriage to the left, so it's right over the bobbin casing below, and it makes the most beautiful straight stitch ever. And what I want to show you is here. Let's define what the perfect scant 1/4 inch seam actually looks like. I've taken a picture here, and I've really taken the time to dive into the minutia of this. And because if you hear a scant 1/4 inch seam, you might think, well, what does that mean? Here's exactly what it means. If you were to count the fibers in your fabric, it would be 3 fibers to the right of your 1/4 inch mark on your ruler. So when you stitch the seam, you can see that the seam is touching the right side of that 1/4 inch mark on your ruler. That is a perfect scant 1/4 inch seam, completely defined for you. So now you know what it looks like, and now you know how to achieve it on your machine. You're going to take some time practicing with your different feet, and moving your needle position if your machine allows that so that you can achieve that perfect scant 1/4 inch. If you do that right now, I guarantee the piecing for the rest of the project is gonna go so beautifully and everything will fit together like it's supposed to. So now take some time to do that. Maybe check out the different feet options that you have. If you've never tried that HP foot and plate, be sure and try it if you have it, or next time you're at your Janome dealer, make sure you ask to try it. Sit down and try it. I guarantee it will blow your socks off. But go ahead, get all set up there, and we're going to go ahead and talk about how to use the rulers next. Now, as part of the introductory part of the Block of the Month Blitz, we need to talk just a little bit about the rulers we're going to be using, and you'll need to get these from your local Janome dealer. They'll have them for you as part of the kit. There's 3 rulers I've designed exclusively for using with pre-cuts. Now, there's a lot of other applications you can use them for, but boy, they excel when you're using jelly roll strips, charm squares, layer cakes, which are 10-inch squares, all those pre-cut bundles that make life and quilting so much fun. You will need the flying geese ruler, and this is called the Precision Flying Geese and Half Square Triangle ruler. We're going to talk more about this in the first month where we're actually starting to sew our blocks. So we're going to talk more about that later. And then we have the Precision Jelly Roll ruler and the Precision Pre-Cuts ruler. What makes these so special is that they were designed so that I've taken all the 1/8 inch increments off the rulers, because did you know when you're sewing or cutting with pre-cuts, you actually don't need to cut 1/8 inch increments, which makes it a lot more easy and a lot more fun to only cut 1/4, half, and whole increment sizes, right? So all of those lines, those 1/8 inch increment lines are removed, and we've got this nice bright mint green color, which makes it very easy to see on your fabric at a glance exactly what you're cutting. So even if you're cutting late at night when your eyes might be tired, guess what? It makes it really easy to see them. We will be talking more about how these rulers actually work in the months to come as we actually start to sew our blocks. But make sure you get these rulers from your local Janome dealer and be prepared and get ready to have some fun using these rulers, because I guarantee they're going to make your life so much easier. So there you have it. We're just about done with everything you need to know for the introductory part of this Block of the Month Blitz quilt. So just want to reiterate again that you're going to need to do some pre-cutting of your background fabric. And I wanted to just talk about this. When it says LOF, it means length of fabric. So you're going to cut these bullets in order as they are written, just exactly as they are written. Get these pieces cut and then set them aside. These are going to be used when we assemble the quilt. And then down here where it says WOF, that means width of fabric. Be sure to cut those two so that you'll have everything prepared so that we dive in next month and start to make our blocks and units. You'll have everything ready. We'll just do some brief cutting next time with our jelly roll strips, and we'll be ready to dive in and have some fun.